Good evening, everyone. The cycle of life is beautiful, but like everything else, it has to come to an end at some point. And I am only 20 years old, just turned 20 last week actually. I've already lost two family members, pretty close to me, both grandparents on my father's side of the family. They've already passed away after losing their battle with cancer. Now I can say it's a safe bet that almost every single person in this room tonight has lost somebody to cancer or some other disease way too early. So what if I told you I could maybe provide you an alternative treatment that could buy you some time? So tonight we're going to talk about a controversial topic. We're going to talk about stem cell research. We're going to talk about the two variations of stem cells, undifferentiated and differentiated, and then we're also going to talk about the three types of stem cells, embryonic, adult, and pluripotent stem cells. And also by the end you'll be able to go research a little on your own, and you'll also know where to donate some money if you would like to. So let's get started. Before we get too deep, I want you to know exactly what a stem cell is. A stem cell is unlike any other cell in the body. It reproduces indefinitely. Now, when something happens to that reproduction process, the body becomes ill. Cancer can form and your body can't fight it off like it should be able to. Parkinson's, Alzheimer's, the list goes on and on. According to the Boston Children's Hospital, the stem cells in the body are the mother cells of the body. So, like I stated before, there's two variations. There's undifferentiated and differentiated. Now, an undifferentiated stem cell can be removed, placed in a host body, and will perform any kind of job you need it to. It'll start reproducing wherever you place it. Now, a differentiated stem cell is a stem cell with a job. When you place it in the body, if it was a muscle stem cell in the previous body, it has to be a muscle cell in this new body. So let's move on to our first type of stem cell. Our first type of stem cell is the embryonic stem cell. Now, there's one huge advantage to the embryonic stem cell, and that is that it's undifferentiated. Now remember what that means? An undifferentiated stem cell can perform any kind of job you need it to. There's a huge disadvantage though, and it's the most controversial topic. It has to be removed from an embryo. Now, according to stemcell.gov, most embryonic stem cells come from extra in vitro eggs. So after a lady goes through the in vitro process, she might have 10 eggs fertilized. Well, they implant 2, they both take, the other 8 are discarded. We can remove those stem cells from those embryos that are going to be discarded because they're going to be ruined anyways. So, let's go on to our second type, the adult stem cell. Now, one huge advantage to the adult stem cell is that it's removed from an adult. It's a pretty simple procedure, it's painless, it's an outpatient procedure. You can go, you can donate your stem cells. Also, another advantage, if they're placed correctly, they have great effectiveness. Now, a disadvantage to that adult stem cell though, is that it's differentiated. And let's think back to that variation. What does undifferentiated mean, or what does differentiated mean? That means that once it's removed from that host cell, or that host body, it already has a job. You can see it already has these little slithers coming out. That means it's specialized in the area that it's in. So if it's a muscle cell in the donor's body, it must be a muscle cell in the host body. But this is perfect for somebody that suffered a heart attack and they need to regenerate the heart muscle around, or the muscle around the heart. Just put in some muscle stem cells and then you're good to go. Our third type of stem cell is what's known as a pluripotent stem cell, aka an induced pluripotent stem cell, aka an IP stem cell. It has 1,000 different names and it's the same stem cell. Now, there's a huge advantage to this induced pluripotent stem cell, and that is that it's an adult stem cell. But what makes it different from an adult stem cell? It's undifferentiated. Now, this means we've taken an adult stem cell and we can make it undifferentiated. This is mind-blowing in science. This is a major breakthrough. Through chemical composition and changing the makeup of the stem cell, you can see we're starting to get those dots back in those stems off. That means that we have now taken that stem cell and it can perform any job again. But there are some disadvantages to this. For example, it's still in its developmental stages, and currently it takes about 3 weeks for the process to get underway. This is according to Eurostem, which is a leading facility in Europe. It takes about 3 weeks from the point of extraction in the host or in the donor's body to go have it transported to a lab, have the chemical composition redone, and then placed in the new host body. And sometimes we don't have 3 weeks. Another disadvantage, it's very expensive. Now, no insurance covers any kind of stem cell currently. And this process, going through a lab, adds a little bit of cost onto that. Also, this program currently, especially here in the United States, since it's so controversial, is very underfunded. Not much government support is provided to stem cell research because of the negative tagline that comes in behind of it. So until Proposition 71, which is a California law, actually passed in California a couple years ago, there was no funding for stem cells. After Proposition 71, the California government provided funding to stem cell research facilities in California. And that prompted the creation of Serum, which is the California Institute for Regenerative Medicine. Serum came along, and they are now our leading stem cell research facility here in the United States. So, today, we talked about 2 variations of stem cells. We talked about undifferentiated stem cells and differentiated stem cells. And we also talked about 3 types: adult, embryonic, adult, and induced pluripotent. So I hope that if you ever find yourself in the situation I found myself previously, if you have a loved one that has a disease, that's been in a car accident, and you would like a little more time with them, please give this a thought. You don't have to go to the extreme and pick embryonic stem cells if that's against everything you believe in, but please don't just brush off the adult stem cells or the new and improved embryonic stem cells. Thank you.